got tremendous potential, and I think he understands that, and he wants to do what's right. It's my honor today to address the people of the world following this very historic summit with Chairman Kim Jong-un of North Korea. Spent very intensive hours.
我们这在这24小时甚至3个月内呢，我们经历一个非常奇幻的过程。
The signed document, or you will very shortly.
这是我的荣幸。
It's going to happen. I stand before you as an emissary of the American people to deliver a message of hope and vision, and a message of peace. Let me begin by thanking our incredible hosts in Singapore.
首先，让我先感谢我们非常辛苦的李显龙总理来举办这么棒的川金会。
and we send our warmest wishes to every citizen of Singapore.
我们向新加坡人致上我们最暖的问候。
So important and so pleasant, despite all of the work and all of the long hours.
在这么
I
长的
also
会议
want
里
to
面，
thank
我们
President
感到非
Moon
常
of
愉
South
快。
Korea. He's working hard. In fact, I'll be speaking to him right after we're finished. Prime Minister Abe of Japan, friend of mine.
我的好朋友安倍总理，首相总理。
And he wants what's right for Japan and for the world. Good man. And a very special person, President Xi.
还有一个非常特别的人呢，习近平。
Who has really
中国国家主席习近平。
Maybe a little bit less so over the last couple of months, but that's okay. But he really has, and he's a terrific person and a friend of mine, and a
他真的是我一个非常特别重要的
great
朋
leader
友。
of his people. I want to thank them for their efforts to help us get to this very historic day.
在这个
Most
历史性的
importantly, I
一
want to
天，
thank Chairman Kim for taking the first bold step toward a bright new future for his
我
people.
想要感谢金正恩踏
Our
出了最勇
unprecedented
敢的一
meeting,
步
the，first
来
between
成
an
就今天的
American
会议。
president and a leader of North Korea, proves that real change is indeed possible. My meeting with Chairman Kim was honest, direct, and productive. We got to know each other well in a very
我
confined
和
period
金
of
正恩
time.
委员长的会议呢，
Under
让我
very
们更加了解彼此。
strong circumstance. We're prepared to start a new history.
我们已经
and
决
we're
定
ready
开
to write
始
a
了
new
开启
chapter
新的
between
历
our
史的
nations.
新页。
Nearly 70 years ago, think of that. 70 years ago.
70年前
An， extremely bloody conflict ravaged the Korean Peninsula.
在朝鲜半岛发
Countless
生
people
了
died in
血
the
腥的冲
conflict,
突。
including tens of thousands of brave Americans.
我们
Yet
丧
while
失
the
了许
armistice
多
was agreed
美
to, the
国
war
的士
never
兵。
ended. To this day, never ended. But now we can all have hope that it will soon end, and it will. It
那我
will
们现在就
soon
有
end.
希望，这样的惨剧
The
不会
past
再发生，
does
会结
not
束。
have to define the future. Yesterday's conflict does not have to be tomorrow's war.
以前
And
的
as history
冲
has
突
proven
不代
over and
表
over
将会
again,
促成未来的战争。
adversaries can indeed become friends. We can honor the sacrifice of our forefathers by replacing the horrors of battle with the blessings of peace. And that's what we're doing, and that's what we have done.
我们也感
There
谢
is no
先
limit
前
to
的
what
祖先
North
留
Korea
下
can
的血来
achieve
换
when
取
it
我们今天的和
gives up
平。
its nuclear weapons and embraces commerce and engagement with the rest of the world that really wants to engage.
北韩想要和世
Chairman
界接
Kim
轨，
has before him an opportunity like no other to be remembered as the leader who ushered in a glorious new era of security and prosperity for his people. Chairman Kim and I just signed a joint statement in which he reaffirmed his unwavering commitment to complete denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula.
金正委员长和我都已经
We
发表
also
共同
agreed
声
to
明，
vigorous
将全面在
negotiations
朝
to
鲜半岛
implement
去
the
核化。
agreement as soon as possible.
我们会尽
And he
快的
wants to
达
do
成这样的
that.
协议。
This isn't the past. This isn't another administration that never got it started.
我们并不是像以前的
And
政
therefore never
权
got it
从来
done.
无法真正的开始。
Chairman Kim has told me that North Korea is already destroying a major missile engine testing site.
北韩已经告诉我，已经完全摧毁了主要的核市场。
The agreement was signed. That's a big thing.
这是一个非
The
常重
missiles
大
that
的
they were
事
testing, the site
情，
is going to be destroyed very soon.
而他们这个
Today is
试
the
核场
beginning of
呢
an
已经
arduous
被摧
process.
毁
Our
了。
eyes are wide open but peace is always worth the effort, especially in this case. They should have been done years ago. They should have been resolved a long time ago.
这些问题在长久之前早就该被解决了。
Chairman Kim has the chance to seize an incredible future for his people. Anyone can make war, but only the most courageous can make peace. The current state of affairs cannot endure forever. The people of Korea, North and South, are profoundly talented, industrious, and gifted. These are truly gifted people. They share the same heritage, language, customs, culture, and destiny. But to realize their amazing destiny, to reunite their national family, the menace of nuclear weapons will now be removed. In the meantime, the sanctions will remain in effect. We dream of a future where all Koreans can live together in harmony, where families are reunited and hopes are reborn, and where the light of peace chases away the darkness of war. This bright future is within, and this is what's happening. It is right there. It's within our reach. It's going to be there. It's going to happen. People thought this could never take place. It is now taking place. It's a very great day. It's a very great moment in the history of the world.
这是非常棒、非常历史性重要的一天。
He's on his way back to North Korea,
金正恩
and I
正
know for a
在
fact
回
as
到
soon as
北
he
韩的路
arrives, he's
上。
going to start a process that's going to make a lot of people very happy and very safe.
这个历史性的进
So it's
程会
an
让他
honor to
人
be
民感
with
到
everybody
很
today.
开
The
心、
media,
很安
it's a big
全。
gathering of media, I will say. Makes me feel very uncomfortable. But it is what it is. People understand that this is something very important to all of us, including yourselves and your families. So thank you very much for being here. We'll take some questions. Wow.
那现在开始，川普接受记者的提问。
NBC.
Thanks, Mr. President. Two questions for you, if you don't mind. First, the man you met today, Kim Jong-un, as you know, has killed family members, has starved his own people, is
记者现在问
responsible
到
for the
说
death
呢，
of
金正恩
Why
曾
are
经
you so comfortable
处决
calling
他
him
的家庭成
very
员，
talented?
所以我
Well,
没
he
法
is
接
very
受您说
talented.
他很有
Anybody
才
that
华。
takes over a situation like he did at 26 years of age and is able to run it and run it tough. I don't say he was nice or I don't say anything about
川
it.
普
He
不会
ran it.
说
Very
他
few
好，也
people
不会
at
说
that
他坏，
age.
毕竟他在
You
26
can
岁的
take
时
one
候
out of
就接下了
10,000
金氏王
probably
朝
couldn't
政
do it.
权。
Otto Warmbier is a very special person, and
他
he
是一个
will
非
be
常
for
特
a
别的
long time
人，
in my life. His parents are good friends of mine.
他已经成为了
I think
我
without
非常好
Otto
朋友。
This would not have happened. Something happened from that day. It was a terrible thing. It was brutal. But a
在那
lot
天
of
他杀
people
了他的
started to
家人是
focus
非
on
常
what
残
was
暴
going
了。
on, including
虽然很多人这样
North
说，
Korea. I really think that Otto is someone who did not die in vain. I told this to his parents. Special young man, and I have to say,
我必须
special
说，
parents, special people. Otto did not die in vain. He had a lot to do with us being here today. Okay? Thank you very
Mr.
much.
President. That second question for you, sir, was on the security. Second question,
Go
sir,
ahead.
on the security assurances you talked about in your statement. Can you be specific about what assurances you are willing to give to Kim Jong-un? Does that
现在记
include
者提问说，
reducing
你将
military
会给
capabilities?
金正恩
Just
怎
to
样的
follow up on
承
your
诺
answer.
呢？
No, we're not reducing anything. We're not reducing. At some point, I have to be honest, and I used to say this during my campaign, as you know probably better than most. I
川普
want
表示他
to
并
get
不
our
会减
soldiers
少
out.
什么，
I
似乎
want
就
to
是
bring our
暗示
soldiers
制
back home.
这个
We have right
经
now
济上面的制裁。
32,000 soldiers in South Korea. And I'd like to be able to bring them back home, but that's not part of the equation right now. At some point, I hope it will be, but not right now. We will be stopping the war games, which will save us a tremendous amount of money, unless and until we see that the future negotiation is not going along like it should. But we'll be saving a tremendous amount of money. Plus, I think it's very provocative. Yes, John? Yes, John, go ahead. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. I thought you were John Roberts. I looked at you. You looked just much better, right?
We're frequently confused, Mr. President.
Yes.
Mr. President, the joint statement does not talk about verifiable or irreversible
像记者提问到说，
denuclearization.
并没有提到这个协议里面并没有提到不可逆转的去核化。
Let's say here, it will be gone. I don't think you can be any more plain than what we're asking. Issues related to the establishment of the new U.S. DPKR relations, the building. We talk about the guarantees, and we talk about unwavering commitment to the complete denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula. This is the document that we just signed.
Did you discuss with Chairman Kim methods to verify, either with the United States or international organizations, that very process? And do you
yes,
have
we
a
did.
timetable
Yes, we
in mind?
did, and we'll be
Can you convey
verifying.
that to us?
Yeah, we'll be
中国表示
verifying.
他
It'll
将
be
会验
verified.
证这个去核化
Well, it's going to
究
be
竟是怎样的
achieved
去
by having a
核。
lot of people there, and as we develop a certain trust, and we think we have done that.
我们现在已经
Secretary
终于
Pompeo's
发
been
展了一
really
些
doing a
基本的
fantastic
信任。
job. His staff, everybody. As we do that, we're going to have a lot of people there, and we're
那我
going to
们
be
将会
working
有
with
许
them on a
多
lot of
的
other
人力来
things.
到去到
But
北
this is
韩来
complete
验证。
denuclearization of North
Will
Korea,
those people be-
and it will be verified.
Will those people be
是的，我们
Americans
将
or
会持续验证
international
去核化的
combinations
过
of
程
both.。
agency people?
Combinations of both, and we have talked about it. Yes. Yeah. Go ahead. Be nice. Be respectful.
I'll be very respectful, sir. What did Kim Jong-un say to you to give you the confidence that for once in the history of North Korea, they are not cheating the system and gaming the world and gaming the people who will have to go in and make sure that they're actually giving up their nuclear arsenal?
Yeah, I mean, very fair
What did he
question.
say?
He actually mentioned the fact that they proceeded down a path in the past, and ultimately, as you know, nothing got done. In one case, they took billions of dollars
事
during
实上，
the
北
Clinton
韩
regime.
花
Took
注了
billions of dollars, and
十几
nothing
亿
happened.
美金
That was a terrible
来
thing.
发
And he
展
actually
核
brought it
武。
up to me. And he said, we have never gone this far. I don't think they've ever had the confidence, frankly, in a president that they have right now for getting things done and
他
having
们
the
从来没有
ability
这
to
么
get
的
things
发
done.
展核武到这样的程度。
He
先前
was
总统
very
从来都没
firm
有
in
这
the
样过
fact。that he wants to do this. I think he might want to do this as much or even more than me, because they see a very bright future for North Korea. So
事实上
you
呢，
never
他
know, right? We never
金正
know.
恩
But
比
I'll
我
tell you
更
what,
想
we
要
signed a
让
very
北韩去核
comprehensive
化，为他的
document
人民
today,
好。
and I think most of you have been given that document. But
那
we
我
signed
想
a
你们应
very,
该都已
very
经收到这个共
comprehensive
同声明文
document,
件。
and I believe he's going to live up to that document. In fact, when he lands, which is going to be shortly, I think that he will start that process right away.
我相信当金正恩
I do.
飞
I
抵
can only
到
say that I
回到
know him
平壤
for
之后呢，他会开始
really
进
well.
行去
It's
核化的
been
过程。
very rhetorical, as you know. I think without the rhetoric, it wouldn't have happened. I think without other things going along, I think the establishment of a new team was very important.
我想必须要组成一个新的组织来进行去核化，是非常重要的一个过程。
This, John, I think, you know, you two guys look alike when the light is right on the hair is very similar. Let me see who has better hair. He's got pretty good hair, John.
It's the angelic glow of the backlighting, Mr. President, that makes us look so similar. Of course, the denuclearization and nuclear weapons and biological weapons and whatnot is one problem in North Korea. Another huge problem is the horrible record that they have on human rights. Was that discussed at all? Is that something that you will tackle in the
Yes, it
future?
was
这个人
discussed.
权的问题，事实上
It
北
will
韩也
be
是相当
discussed
严重的。
more in the future, human rights. What was also discussed in great detail, John, was the fact that, you know, we have, and I must have had just countless calls and letters and tweets, anything you can do. They want the remains of their sons back. They want the remains of their fathers and mothers and all of the people that got caught into that really brutal war, which took place to a large extent in North Korea. And I asked for it today, and we got it. That was a very last minute. The remains will be coming back. They're going to start that process immediately. But so many people, even
金
during the
正恩
campaign,
跟
they
川
say,
普
is
讨
there
论到
any
将会
way
把这些
you
韩
can
战战俘
work
的
with North
尸
Korea
体
to
呢
get the
运送
remains of my
回
son
北
back
韩或者是南韩？
or my father back? So many people
很
ask
多
me
人
this
希望他的
question.
父亲能
And,
够回家。
you know, I said, look, we don't get along too well with that particular group of people. But now we do. And he agreed to that so quickly and so nice. It was really a very nice thing. And he understands it. He understands it. So for the thousands and thousands, I guess way over 6,000 that we know of in terms of the remains,
大概有6000多的这个战俘的尸体将会有望回到他们的家。
Especially to a lot of people that are.
But what do you, President Trump, expect Kim Jong-un to do about the human rights record regarding the North Korean people?
Right.
下记者提到说，金正恩将会对这个人权问题做出怎样的改变？
But they will be doing things, and I think he wants to do things. I think he wants to.
表示金正恩想做出改变，为他人民做出一些新的事情。
Wants to do the right thing. You know, he brought up the fact that in the past they took dialogue far. They never were like we are.
表示先前的领导人他们的确有对话，新的官员的确有对话，但是并没有真的做出什么样的行动。
You know, the following day, the nuclear program continued, but this is a much different time, and this is a much different president. In all fairness, this is very important to me. This was perhaps one of the reasons that I won. I campaigned on this issue, as you know very well, John. Okay, whoever those people are, I cannot see you with all the lights, but you don't look like either of the two. Yeah, go ahead. Sure, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President. And first,
川普刚才表示呢，这个关于北韩的问题也是他当时在竞选时候不断想要做出的改变。
And also, will you travel to Pyongyang anytime soon?
Well, at a certain time, I will. I said that will be a day that I look very much forward to at the appropriate time, and I also will be inviting Chairman Kim at the appropriate time to the White House. I think it's really going to be something that will be very important. And he has accepted. I said at the appropriate time. We want to go a little bit further down the road. But what we signed today was a lot of things included. And then you have things that weren't included that we got after the deal was signed. I've done that before in my life. And we didn't put it in the agreement because we didn't have time. And I think most of you have been handed out the agreement or soon will. But Oh, you have not? Okay. Well, if you could have those agreements passed out. We just finished them just a little while ago. But if you could have the agreements passed out, well, you'll see what we're talking about. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
I will second the congratulations, President.
Thank you.
What part did Japan play? And did the abduction issue come up? And
yes.
Also, the fate of the Christians? And the follow-up question is, when will you be doing an interview with Japanese TV? 50,000 American troops are in Japan.
That's true.
Again.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, John.
Returning to the question of human rights, you spoke very powerfully on the issue during your State of the Union address. You showed that you had the defector in the First Lady's box with the crutches who escaped. And you, at that point, said that North Korea has more brutally oppressed its people than any other regime on earth. Do you still believe that is the case, having sat down with Kim Jong-un, and does he need to change that?
John, I believe it's a rough situation over there. There's no question about it, and we did discuss it today pretty strongly. I mean, knowing what the main purpose of what we were doing is, denuking, but discussed it at pretty good length. We'll be doing something on it. It's rough. It's rough in a lot of places, by the way, not just there, but it's rough, and we will continue that, and I think ultimately we'll agree to something. But it was discussed at length outside of the nuclear situation, one of the primary topics.
But do you think that needs to change to bring on this glorious new era you talked about? Are they going to have to?
I think it will change, yeah. I think it probably has to, but I think it will, yeah.
我相信在不久未来，这个人权问题也将会被改变。
Steve, that's you, Steve, right there.
Yes, sir. Thank you. What timetable do you envision for their denuclearization? And in the meantime, are you thinking about easing any sanctions?
Well, you know, scientifically, I've been watching and reading a lot about this, and it does take a long time to, pull off complete denuclearization. It takes a long time. Scientifically, you have to wait certain periods of time, and a lot of things happen. But despite that, once you start the process, it means it's pretty much over.
只要你开始了
That's the good news, and that's going to start very soon. I believe that's going to start very soon. We will do it as fast as it can mechanically and physically be done, Steve.
And the sanctions?
And the sanctions will come off when we are sure that the nukes are no longer a factor.
我们会确保这个核武不再是威胁后，就会在制裁方面做出调整。
As you know, and as I've said, the sanctions right now remain. But at a certain point, I actually look forward to taking them off, and they'll come off when we know we're down the road where it's not going to happen. Nothing's going to happen. Okay?
Thank you.
我们会听到呢，刚刚在川普对外来发表记者会的内容，包括了完全去核化，还有呢未来人权问题。他相信呢，这个金正恩都有抄笔记来记录下来，所以未来呢，他应该是可以说到做到的。那么稍后我们还有更多记者会最新现场，先休息一下，马上回来。
Mike Pompeo, and he said the following.
Nearby. I said, oh, great, nearby. Where's nearby? 6.5 hours. 6.5 hours, that's a long time for these big, massive planes to be flying to South Korea to practice and then drop bombs all over the place and then go back to Guam. I know a lot about airplanes. It's very expensive. And I didn't like it. And what I did say is, and I think it's very provocative, I have to tell you,